Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of All Elite Wrestling Dynamite. My name is Nomad Raven and I am here the whole night with you. We have got a great show tonight, mainly focused on the final stages of that TNT Title Eliminator Tournament. First, we're going to go backstage and hear from Marty Scurll. Marty's still going on about those achievements of Chris Jericho. And taking it back to Vengeance 2001. As always, Scurll spewing vitriol towards Jericho here. He can't be serious. The Rock and Stone Cold are not here tonight. What's this? Zack Sabre Jr. is supposed to be competing in the TNT Title Eliminator Tournament. What has happened back? Who is that? What is going on backstage? Someone get back there and help him. And Pete Dunne has been laid out as well. These two men are supposed to be fighting in our main event of the evening. We need to get security back there and find out who the hell has done this. Well, whilst we wait for an update on that, let's take a look at the bracket. This is how we stand currently in the TNT Title Eliminator Tournament. You've got semi-final action tonight. We definitely know that Cedric Alexander will be taking on Will Osprey in our first match of the night. But our main event has been thrown into question with what has just transpired backstage. I will get an update as soon as possible on the status of both men. As we mentioned, our first match of the evening is Will Osprey against Cedric Alexander of the Hurt Business. Last time out we saw Will Osprey defeat Penta El Zero Miedo in a hard-fought affair. High impact, high velocity, and both men left it all in the ring, and it was Osprey that came out on top, hitting the Stormbreaker to get the 1-2-3. And his opponent tonight, you all saw how that transpired as well. He was facing off against Penta's brother, Ray Phoenix, and they used underhanded tactics with MVP getting involved, the distraction, to get Alexander through to this stage. Will Osprey was asked earlier if he was going to be bringing B. Priestley out to even up that numbers game, and he said that he was not concerned by MVP, he was not concerned about the Hurt Business. The only person he was concerned with is the man across from him in the ring, and that would be Cedric Alexander, and he was fully confident that he could defeat Cedric Alexander one-on-one tonight. Both men in this matchup have very unorthodox offenses. They can hit you from any angle, and they can hit you in ways that you don't even see coming because they are so agile. And you wonder, the story of this match, will it come down to Stormbreaker versus lumbar check, or will we see more interference from the Hurt Business? And speaking of the Hurt Business, Cedric Alexander making his way to the ring, accompanied by MVP as always. The Hurt Business have used underhanded tactics already in this tournament, and the very first week on Dynamite, we also saw them attack Matt Jackson backstage, and you've got to wonder where they stand in terms of that tag team title picture. We will have an update for you next week. We haven't seen Matt Jackson since the attack in week 1. Another thing to take into consideration is that depending on the status of Zack Sabre Jr. and Pete Dunne, this could in fact be the de facto final. We have no idea if either man are going to be able to compete tonight, and therefore even if the match were postponed until next week, we have no idea on their status as to whether they'd be able to make that time frame either. It may well be this match to see who faces Darby Allin for that TNT Championship. An MVP cutting the foreboding figure as per usual next to Cedric Alexander. There is no reason for him to be at ringside other than to try and pull some shenanigans like we saw last week. And the referee gets us underway, and both men lock up in the middle, but Osprey goes for a front face lock and a big European uppercut, followed by another. And Osprey throwing strikes to begin this match. And he sends Alexander crashing to the canvas. Alexander's able to wriggle out. and fires a European uppercut of his own. And another. Alexander is known for his speed and his agility and for that high flying ability. And he hits that corkscrew roundhouse. And he goes for the pin. But not even a 1 count. Osprey able to get out of there. And Alexander can't believe it. He immediately goes back to the well and tries to get him rolled up again. And again, kick out before 1. Alexander is beside himself here. And he takes Osprey for a ride. Into the corner he goes. Alexander looking for the springboard forearm, but misses. Osprey gets out of the way. Osprey finally getting his senses back. Swinging neck breaker. And Osprey again going for those strikes. Suplex, and he hangs him up on the top rope. Unless you've been inside one of those rings, you have no idea how tight those ropes are and how taut they are. Being hung up like that will drive the air out of your lungs in a heartbeat. Oh, and a kick to the gut. And he's going for that modified Michinoku driver where he crosses the legs. And he holds on for the pin. And kick out at 1. Cedric Alexander kicks out at 1. And Osprey looking fired up right now. Vicious kicks to the face. And into the corner they go. Osprey with that back elbow into the corner, going up to the top rope. They don't call him the aerial assassin for nothing. Double foot stomp. That could be it. And Osprey goes for the pin. And just a 2 count. Alexander just able to get his shoulder up. And Osprey looking to stay on the offensive here. Robinson special. He's telling Alexander to get up. You feel this could be the beginning of the end for Alexander. But no, he catches the foot. T-bone suplex. Alexander with that cocky arrogance, showing that he's still in this. And another suplex from Alexander. An MVP on the outside clapping for the member of the Hurt Business. And torquing that arm at an awkward angle. He's got it locked in here. Is Osprey going to be able to get out of this? Osprey just able to roll out of that one. And strikes back and forth between the two men here. Big knee to the midsection. And a spinning lariat from Alexander. And now telling Osprey to get up. Looking for the brainbuster, and he hits it. Alexander goes for the pin. Is this going to be it? Just a 2 count. Osprey able to kick out of that just before 3. And Alexander telling the ref that that was 3. And MVP is skulking around to the other side of the ring. What's he looking for under there? And he slides a steel chair into the ring. You'll be disqualified if you use this. And the referee quickly interjects to take the chair away from Alexander. But while the referee's focused on Osprey, Alexander's removed that turnbuckle. It's exposed steel over there now. Incredible agility and body control here from Alexander. Absolutely exuding confidence here. He's getting Osprey back to his feet. The referee's noticed the other turnbuckle. And what? Alexander removes the other one. And Alexander goes for an Irish whip. Osprey turns it around. But Alexander gets sent into the exposed steel himself. That will serve you right. And Osprey goes to the roll-up. He bridges with the legs. He's got the arms hooked. Could this be it? He gets the 3 count. Osprey wins. Alexander's actions have come back to haunt him here. He exposed the second turnbuckle, tried to use it to his advantage, and it's ended up costing him. Huge double foot stomp from Osprey early on. And hitting the Robinson special. And then Alexander came back with that brainbuster, and I thought that could be all she wrote. As Osprey celebrates outside, Alexander is absolutely incensed. He's telling the referee quite clearly that was 2, but it definitely wasn't, Cedric. It was 3, and you are out of the tournament. Osprey seemingly had done his research. He was ready for the games that the Hurt Business were ready to play tonight. As we take a look at the updated bracket, and you see Will Ospreay moving on to the final, and he is now one step closer to booking that date with Darby Allin for the TNT Championship. And next up we have got Marty Scurll. And you've got to wonder, after what we heard earlier, is this going to be Marty coming out as Marty, or is this going to be another cosplay as Jericho? And there we have our answer. And Marty Scurll said that we're taking it back almost 20 years. And as you can see, he has dyed the back of his hair red. There is not a chance that The Rock or Stone Cold are here tonight. So incredibly disrespectful to a legend in Chris Jericho. And you've got to wonder, to an extent, what is the end game here for Scurll? Does he really think that he is going to be the man to send Chris Jericho off into retirement? I think not. And this crowd here tonight in Pittsburgh letting Scurll know exactly what they think of him. This is pathetic. That is very clearly not The Rock. What is Scurll trying to prove here? This is an insult to Jericho, his accomplishments, an insult to The Rock, and an insult to these fans. Marty Scurll is ready. Fake Rock is ready. And the referee gets us underway. Huge clothesline from Scurll to kick it off. And hits the face wash in the corner. He pulls Fake Rock out to the centre of the ring. And he's looking for the Lion Tamer. And he's got it locked in. He's got it cinched in deep. And Fake Rock taps out in roughly 25 seconds. And Stone Cold's music hits. And how disrespectful. Again, that is very clearly not Stone Cold Steve Austin. If I were Marty Scurll, I would be concerned that not only I would have Chris Jericho after me, but I would now have a further 2 legends on my case here. Because surely The Rock and Stone Cold are not going to be happy about this stunt being pulled at their expense. And Scurll ready for his second quote-unquote match of the night, and they step face to face. And Scurll starts out with ferocious forearms. And Scurll picking Fake Stone Cold up. And a vicious suplex. Sends him into the ropes. And immediately picks the legs. He's looking for the walls of Jericho. And he locks it in. That's cinched in deep. Is he going to be able to make it to the ropes? No. And Fake Stone Cold taps out in a matter of seconds as well. I hope you feel good about yourself, Marty. I have no idea what you're trying to prove with this stunt. And again, the capacity crowd in this PPG Paints arena here in Pittsburgh are letting him know exactly what they think of it. And we're going to catch up with Marty backstage. Something that was beyond Jericho. And giving Jericho an ultimatum here. And next up, we have Hikaru Shida's challenge to a local competitor. And tonight she will be facing off against Pittsburgh's own Sarah Hurst. Well, that is not Shida's music. What is Britt Baker doing here? Apologies to the change to the scheduled programming. No idea what Britt Baker is doing here. And Britt Baker has not been seen since the draft. Immediately steps to Hurst and a super kick. They exchange words and immediately Baker threw a super kick. Two vicious clotheslines. And a swinging neck breaker. What is Baker doing? This wasn't supposed to be her match. She has no business being out there. This was such an opportunity for Hurst to show Pittsburgh what she's made of. And Baker traps her in the lockjaw. The referee trying to pry her hands away. Asking for assistance. And Baker finally relinquishes the hold. Baker came out, got in Hurst's face, immediately threw a super kick to her chin for no reason whatsoever. There was no provocation. She cinched in that lockjaw submission hold and the referee couldn't pry her hands away. And you can see Hurst tapping out there to no avail. And it doesn't look as if Baker's finished. Mercifully, she just throws her out of the ring. And Baker into the corner, and she's got a mic in hand. We may finally find out what this is all about. And Baker calling into question Shida's intentions with the open challenge. And you wouldn't know it from the reaction she's currently getting from the Pittsburgh crowd. And Shida is immediately out there. And she makes her way to the ring as fast as possible. And Shida showing that she is not afraid of anyone, and she will take issue with Baker calling her a coward here tonight. Baker telling her that this is her division. She's the chosen one in the AEW women's division. Baker getting in Shida's face, but Shida does not back down. And another super kick from Baker, this time sending Shida to the mat. And Baker picks up Shida's women's championship, telling her that that will soon be hers. And she has sent a message tonight to the champion. Baker makes her exit from the ring. We take another look at the bracket in the TNT Title Eliminator Tournament. We have had word both Zack Sabre Jr. and Pete Dunne have cleared concussion protocol, and they both still want the main event tonight. So without any further ado, we're going to head to ringside as that match is next. And making his way to the ring first, Zack Sabre Jr. You can see with that midsection heavily bandaged, and he's also got a dressing on his forehead. from losing all that blood earlier, you've got to wonder whether keeping their main event slot tonight was a wise move. I've got so many questions about their assailants tonight. Who are they? How were they able to get past security? And why was no one backstage able to stop them? Both of these men are known for their bruising styles. Zack Sabre Jr. can tie you up in a pretzel and inflict agony upon you using any of your limbs against you. And Pete Dunne, well, as his name suggests, he is known as the Bruiserweight. It is that high impact, vicious, brawling style. And you've got to wonder, these men coming in tonight at less than 100%, it's not going to bode well. This capacity crowd here in Pittsburgh are happy they're still getting their main event, as you can tell by the reaction that Zack Sabre Jr. is currently getting from them. His outspoken style has not always made him a fan favourite. And here comes the Bruiserweight. Pete Dunne doesn't seem to have any bandages around his midsection, but again, it may well be under his singlet. There's no way of knowing, but he does have a dressing on his forehead, same as Zack Sabre Jr. They were both bleeding quite profusely earlier on following the attack, and it's good that the doctors backstage have been able to stem that. Pete Dunne does have a vicious streak, a malicious side to him, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if tonight we see him go after those ribs of Sabre Jr. Those bandages may well provide support, but you've got to think that is like chum in the water for a competitor like Dunne. A huge ovation here in Pittsburgh for Dunne tonight, and both men in the ring. The crowd are ready. They are ready. The referee doing final checks, and he gets us underway. And Sabre Jr. immediately out of the blocks, taking away Dunne's legs, and slaps him across the face. European uppercut. And Dunne with a big block there. Punches and knife-edge chops. And again, immediately, straight after those ribs, with a backbreaker there, and Dunne with the double underhook suplex, putting further pressure on that midsection and lower back. And Zack Sabre Jr. fires back with a European uppercut of his own, kick to the midsection, and again. Both men incredibly intelligent, well scouted here. They're ready for each other's offense. And Zack Sabre Jr. with that, well, depending on your location, football kick to the shin or soccer kick to the shin. It immediately takes away Dunne's vertical base and sends him crashing to the mat. Suplex from Sabre Jr. And disrespectful stomps to the face. And this is not a position you want to be in if you're Pete Dunne. And Zack Sabre Jr. just stamping on the hands. And he's looking for that Indian Deathlock. He's got it locked in. But he releases it, but has the damage been done to Dunne's legs? This is definitely more his game. Looking for that modified Fujiwara armbar. Dunne's arms and legs right now have got to be on fire. Sends Dunne into the corner. But Dunne with a huge counter there. Big spinning forearm. And Dunne with more shots here. Raking at the face of Sabre Jr. And stomping on the back of his head. You get the sense here that Dunne did not want this turning into a match where Sabre Jr. got flowing with those submission holds and stomping on the ribs. Looking for a variation of the Fujiwara armbar himself. And then sends his knees crashing down onto Sabre Jr.'s midsection there. Looking for the pin. Only a 1 count. Sabre Jr. able to kick out there. Again, brutalizing that midsection. Stomps to the face. Wrenching the arm back at an awkward angle and then dropping his entire weight onto the injured midsection of Sabre Jr. there. As I said earlier, Dunne has a malicious streak, and it seems with those submissions, Sabre Jr. inadvertently woke it up. Sabre Jr. with the block there. Both men with the reversals here. Collar and elbow tie up. Reaches a stalemate and Dunne with a vicious clothesline. And Dunne with a running enziguri into the corner. And Sabre Jr. not able to keep his vertical base there. Dunne sends Sabre Jr. outside. You've got to think being outside the ring favours Dunne. And looking for a suplex. Shifts it into a sit-out powerbomb. And on the outside, that is very little padding over concrete there. And throws Sabre Jr. into the ring apron, brutalizing that midsection. And into the steel steps goes Sabre Jr. And Dunne wisely rolls in the ring and immediately comes back outside to break the count. What's he doing with the steel steps? And he moves the top layer of steel steps. He might be looking to suplex Sabre Jr. onto the lower level, that wider base. He looks for it, but again switches to that sit-out powerbomb, which you've got to think may well have done just as much damage. Double underhook suplex out there as well. Throws Sabre Jr. into the barricade. And hangs him up on the metal. Big boot to Sabre Jr. And Dunne is simply relentless right now. Rolls in to break the count once more. And he's up on the ring apron. And he stomps on the midsection. You've got to think this could be over right now. How much more punishment can Sabre Jr. take? And Dunne goes for the pin. That's going to be all. But no, Sabre Jr. kicks out. At literally 2 9/10, he's able to get the shoulder up. And Dunne is incensed right now. Maybe time to think about the bitter end. But Sabre Jr. with the reversal. And he locks in the guillotine. Takes him down to the mat and he locks in the scissors with the legs. Is he going to be able to make him tap after everything he's been through tonight? Is Zack Sabre Jr. going to pick up the victory? But Dunne able to unhook the legs. You've got to wonder how much Sabre Jr.'s ribs came into play there. And the Pele kick to the arm. And again Sabre Jr. wrenching that arm there. This time using the top rope to his advantage. He's maybe thinking about the Fujiwara armbar. Again, stamping on the hands. Brutalizing Dunne here with the stamps to the chest. Both men are giving it everything they've got. After what they went through at the beginning of the show backstage, they are leaving it all in the ring right now. And Dunne with the reversal. Big forearm. And he's looking for the bitter end. And he hits it. Beautiful bitter end in the corner. And he pulls him into the middle of the ring. Goes for the pin. Is he going to pick up the victory? Yes, he does. Pete Dunne goes on after a tremendous back and forth match. It looked like both men could have won that on separate occasions. I thought Sabre Jr. had it won with the guillotine, but again, you've got to think that the earlier attack on those ribs meant that when he locked in the scissors, he didn't have that core strength to keep Dunne in there, and he was able to unhook those legs. Dunne wisely throughout the match was working on those ribs, and he hits the bitter end in the corner, sensibly drags Sabre Jr. back to the middle of the ring before pinning him. Zack Sabre Jr. with those long limbs, all he would have needed to have done was outstretched an arm, and he would have been able to break the count. Great ring awareness there from Dunne, and he moves on, and he will face Will Osprey in the final of the TNT Eliminator Tournament to determine who will go on to face Darby Allin. Take nothing away from Zack Sabre Jr. tonight. Yes, Pete Dunne has come away with the win, but tremendous heart, tremendous courage, tremendous determination from both men to even compete tonight after what they went through earlier. And the big question now is, we need to get to the bottom of who was it backstage that attacked them? What were they doing back there? And we need to beef up security so that that never happens again. Well, that is all we've got time for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it, ladies and gentlemen. If you have, please hit that like button, hit subscribe, turn on the bell icon so you get notified when I drop new content. Hit me up in the comments to let me know what you've enjoyed and what you're looking forward to in the future. As I say, every view means an awful lot to me, and every single like, subscribe and comment really does help the channel, and it gets more eyes on the product. So thank you very much to everyone that has ever done so. Thank you very much for watching tonight, and until next time.